Tallahatchie River Festival. Our guest now, Richey. Clark, thanks for coming on.
Oh, it's great to be on. That y'all are having me.
So we were just reminiscing. It's been a while, but I used to come up to Baldwin with my Madison Ridgeland Royals baseball team. I think we were maybe 10 and 11 years old at the time, the group I was coaching, and you used to run the tournaments up there.
I did. I ran tournaments there and ran them right here in New Albany, too, at the time. And my brother now, he continues that legacy. He runs tournaments around North Mississippi. But when you said that, you took me back to a whole different time of life. That was not what I came here to talk about, so it caught me off guard. But we still have one player. I mentioned to you right before we went on air, we still have one player active from those days, and he's a good one. Brandon Woodruff, all-star pitcher for the Milwaukee Brewers.
That's incredible.
Yeah, he's still out there.
Well, one of the kids on my team pitched at Ole Miss and ended up in the system with the Tigers.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
We did them some good, didn't we?
I know it. And I had a couple other kids at older age that got drafted as well. But and sometimes you can tell, sometimes you can't, man, how they're going to develop and blossom. But it's fun. I miss those days. I continued to do it up until about 4 or 5 years ago. They pulled me out of retirement 3 times. Yeah. And I was coaching 13, 14-year-olds. Yeah. But never trade that for anything.
I may make a comeback. I got 10 grandkids now.
Okay.
So
you'll have your hands full.
Yeah.
All right. So I understand you're in the movie making business now. Is that right?
That's right. That's right. A few years ago, we made in 2022, we made a movie called Mysterious Circumstance: The Death of Meriwether Lewis, starred John Schneider, Bo Duke, and it did really well. And we've continued after that, and now we have a TV series that we're making about the Tallahatchie River region of Mississippi, a documentary, 8 episodes, and we're beginning filming this weekend at the Tallahatchie River Fest.
Wow. So do you have a background in this? How'd you get into this, Clark?
I've always enjoyed entertainment. Actually, I'm a professional engineer in Mississippi, and I've got a construction company and an engineering business in Baldwin and Guntown, Mississippi. Yeah. But over time, I renovated a storefront in Baldwin into a theater, and so for about 15 or 20 years, I just progressively got more involved in the entertainment business and did radio shows and worked with your Craig Horton there in Tupelo several times and had a football prediction show and all kind of things. And I just always toyed with it, and I really enjoyed it. And so it just sort of progressed. And about 2016, I started 6 Shooter Studios, and we started making music videos, documentaries, feature films, and now this latest TV series it will originally broadcast on Mississippi Public Broadcasting in 2025.
Well, there's so much history in Mississippi and around this area with the river and all the history associated with that, and notable figures.
Exactly. I mean,
a lot to do movies about.
That's what we felt like was really interesting about this particular project is it's the Tallahatchie River region, and that stretches from Tippah County, that's Ripley, Mississippi, Blue Mountain, Mississippi, all the way down to LaFleur, where it joins the Yallabusha and becomes the Yazoo, I believe, and goes into the Mississippi at Vicksburg. But so you have Greenwood to Ripley. Okay. And it goes through New Albany, it goes through Holly Springs, it goes through Oxford, Charleston. You know, you have all these communities that are associated with it, and what you find in that region of Mississippi is this microcosm of all the artistry, music, history that you could possibly pack in any one place in America. You go from William Faulkner, born in New Albany. Yep. His grandfather, he spent time in Tippah County with his grandfather, Colonel Faulkner, lived in Oxford. Died in Bahia in Marshall County. Yeah. So his imprint is on the area, and you've got people like Charlie Pride and Bobby Gentry. You flip into the historic aspects of it, and you got everything from the Trail of Tears to the Civil War to the Civil Rights Movement, and it's all right here in an 8-county area of Mississippi. So you can see how it gets my juices going a little bit.
Sure. Yeah. So where do you find the talent to help you with producing something like this?
Well, my partner in 6 Shooter Studios is Amy Gousset, and she's a longtime Mississippi actress, and she's been involved in the film industry for longer than I have, twice as long as I've been, and so she's a great partner to have in this endeavor. But you'd be surprised. I mean, when you look around Mississippi, you find a lot of people who are very, very high up in that industry, and so there are more people that are available to help you do this kind of thing in cinematography and sound and editing than you would think. Yeah. And Ole Miss being at the center of that area, of course, is a great benefit too, because you have the university and you have the steady production of people who can do that kind of thing.
Yeah. And of course, Faulkner has a little association with the university as well.
Absolutely.
Wow, that's pretty cool. So you know what kind of excites me about this is that you're telling stories about our state, and it's shedding a positive light, casting a positive light. There's so many good things, and I think we have to be honest. The folks that have never been here, don't know much about our state, don't have the best perception of our states because they don't understand it.
They don't, and you know, you have. I've always contended that this artistry that you find in people like William Faulkner and John Grisham and Morgan Freeman and James Earl Jones, who just passed away, this artistry that you find in people like that, some of that comes from the constant struggle and tension that you had in Mississippi. But looking at it now, you have to say that this is a place that changed America for the better. Yeah. It's a place that changed America. You can look at it from the dark side and the bad side all the time, but essentially, if you go from Ripley to Greenwood right now, you're going to be in a great, peaceful place that is the center of Americana, really. Yeah. And New Albany is a perfect example of that.
You know, our own Steve Azar talks about that as well. You know, I frequently discuss with him, where do you get the ideas, you know, for the song? He says, man, I live the ideas. You know, they're right here, right amongst us. So plenty of rich history to draw from. Yes. For artistic works.
Yes, and you mentioned Steve. Steve is one who we plan to have help us with the music in the series as well. So yeah, Steve and I have had conversations about this series already.
That's awesome. So creative, no doubt about that.
Yeah, and that's what you find, I think, in Mississippi is this creative strain that runs through a significant number of people, far more per capita than anywhere else in the country. You know, I'm a sports guy. We already talked about sports. Yeah. I say the same thing about sports. Mississippi per capita produces more outstanding, of the highest level athlete of anywhere in the country. And the same can be said for literary works, acting, music especially. Sure. I mean, every founder of every musical genre in America basically came from Tupelo to Greenville. Yeah. And that's it.
And our Grammy Museum does a great job of curating that story and presenting it as well.
Absolutely.
In Cleveland. Yeah. Well, that's awesome. So what else is on the boards? What are your plans?
Well, we're going to start. My partner, Amy Gousset, she's going to be the host of the program, and we're going to set it up like a little bit of a chronological history and talk about the various things from the removal of the Chickasaws, the Chickasaw session. We're going to go all the way back to that and how the Chickasaw impacted the region, and the Choctaws also as you got further towards Greenwood, how they impacted the region and how their presence is still felt here in the area. The roads, the road from Tupelo to Memphis essentially was the Chickasaw Trail. And now it's I-22, So you overlook that when you don't really know the history of the place. But that route that everyone drives right now was originally, for 200 years before any Spaniards got here, was just a Chickasaw Trail. So we want to talk about that, and then we go to the different phases of history, the Civil War, and then the post-Civil War, the Reconstruction. But we're not going to present it in this negative fashion. It's going to be how it's important and how it impacted America.
Shaped us, essentially.
Absolutely.
But we have progressed a long way from the stains of that past, and we got to promote that.
Yes.
Big time.
Definitely.
That's what you're doing.
We got a great place.
No doubt about it. Clark, enjoy talking to you, man. Appreciate you coming on. Thanks.
Appreciate it.
Yeah. perfect music there bumping us out of this segment there. Will, appreciate that. We're coming right back in the Element Well studio in New Albany, Mississippi for the Tallahatchie River Festival.